Hey everyone, it's 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning, so you're listening to Chopping It Up on Crazy Country 105.9 with Keith Saarloos, your little host who tries to do his best, where we sit down and we talk to people who make our valley a very, very special place. This is one of the most unique areas in the world. It is a difficult place to live, but it is the greatest place in the world to live. And so today we have Feral Future in the house today, and we're going to talk about what they do, how they found the valley, why they love it so much, and how they're trying to make it a better place. So introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Eric Steinkamp. I've been here in the valley about 2 years. Moved up here from the LA area.
You escaped. Congratulations, man. Well done.
Yeah, it was something of a bit of a doing, but certainly worth it. And it's been great. We've absolutely loved it so far.
So what drew you to the valley? What was the impetus? Everybody has that moment where they come up here and all of a sudden say, I think I can live here the rest of my life.
Well, all credit goes to my lovely partner, Carrie, fiancée. She actually consulted with something called an astrocartographer, who it's something related kind of like astrology a little bit, but looked at her birth chart and kind of said, this is the area that's right for you. And
so you're saying it was written in the stars.
You could say that, absolutely. Yeah. And it's interesting because she was already coming up here and already had a relationship with the area. Yeah. Had a couple secret spots that she loved to go to. And myself, I used to work in racing for 15 years, and I would go back up to LA, up to like Laguna Seca quite often for races.
Okay, I don't want to hijack this. What kind of cars? Let's hear about it.
Well, yeah, so let me just finish this part out. So
I got it.
Driving up, I always used to avoid the 5, and I would take the 101, and I always loved the Gaviota Coast.
You're
and
a driver.
I was like, anytime I was between Santa Barbara and Santa Maria, I just kind of loved it.
Yep.
And then when the idea came into like solving, my mom's family is from Denmark and Norway, so they have a sort of a strong connection and appreciation for the area. And she's tells me about like her grandfather. My grandfather used to love coming here and getting the all the pastries and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Because that was like holidays for him, because that's what they would do, all the old country stuff. Yep. And so it's interesting that I'm here now and it's like directly connected to my heritage.
Awesome.
Yeah, but going back to the car thing, I was into production-based road racing stuff. It was like street cars, track day cars, time attack, some road racing, endurance stuff. But it was all production-based things.
Super cool.
Anything from BMWs and Porsches and Corvettes and Hondas and Subarus and Evos and all that kind of fun stuff.
So how did you possibly transition from going fast to living slow?
Well, I think you have to go fast to realize the appreciation to live slow, right? It's the balance of life. How many kids that grew up here want to go to LA, and how many people grew up in LA want to live here? It's
nobody's happy where they are,
right? Yeah. So you just have to see it all and try it out. But I was very much the idea of a farm life or living closer to land and being out in nature. The idea of knowing like survival skills and just how things work.
I think that is a definite undercurrent of this area in particular, because so many like people I talk to now even in the last 5 years, let's just say post COVID, right? They're like, I don't know where food comes from, and we've talked about it on this show so many times when we talked to Alfred from El Rancho, right? And just having that understanding of food does not usually come packaged in plastic, right? Or a butcher counter anywhere else in the United States, or specifically California, seeing, big steaks and fresh fish and poultry that came in today that has been butchered or whatever, just right there is kind of a rarity. And it's becoming more and more specialty, where it's like usually something gets delivered off a truck and they put it on a shelf and it's good to go. Versus, so many more people, especially farmers, have an intimate connection with their land. And I think the Santa Ynez Valley in particular, we're growing lettuce, we're growing strawberries, we're growing, wine grapes, of course. But there is a real connection to food chain, right? And when you kind of understand where you're getting your food from, you have a different level of like appreciation and reverence for it.
Absolutely.
And for you, I hear so many people are like, I want to be, that touch grass movement a little bit, where they're like, I want to grow something from the ground, and they've never done it before. So how did you make that big jump from that to this?
Well, to be honest, I feel like it's something I've been doing for a long time.
Awesome.
Having kids was a big part of it. just wanting them to eat well and becoming aware of the problems with the food system as it is, and how much work it is to eat clean and healthy and food that doesn't damage the environment through all of the pesticides and processing and transporting and everything like that.
Could you say a little bit more about that? Because I think that's one of the things that really is emerging in just overall health right now. It's like, what are you putting in your body, right? It's the Kellogg cereal that is different here than it is in Canada. And
it's illegal to ship it to Canada. They won't even accept it. Right?
They won't accept it. Yeah. Or how, I hope they're not a sponsor, but it's like Subway sandwiches, like the bread at Subway in Europe is considered cake.
Right.
Because it has so much sugar into it. So what was the thing that really pushed you over the edge as far as the food thing? Or has this been a lifelong ambition?
Well, I don't think there was one specific thing. I think it's definitely been a spectrum of understanding and awareness. Podcasting was a big part of learning about things and, alternative medicine and, just taking control of your health and diet. And I've really, Farrow Future is our parent company, the overarching thing, but we've essentially launched with Farrow Foods. And so because food is such a significant component.
Sure.
And I really take the idea of you are what you eat to like a very deep, almost spiritual level.
I could understand that.
It's really easy to think of it as proteins, fats, carbs, vitamins, and minerals.
Yep.
But when you get into things like, characteristics and vitality and things like that, I mean, we take on all of those things. And it's also, do you know what epigenetics is?
Absolutely. So my wife is a bit of a biohacker.
Okay. Yeah. So the idea of the gene expression that comes through the way you live your life. It's like the nature versus nurture argument. Yep. So it's the nurture side of things.
Okay.
And so the food that you eat can actually activate genetic processes and protein synthesis. So
Great.
We know that blueberries are known to help reduce cancer. It's like, it's not blueberries, it's the genetic response to eating blueberries that creates the proteins that create the detox protocols in the body that help to prevent cancer things from happening. Like, that's the chain that things go down. And we eat such I don't say we, but like in general, the standard American diet is very limited.
Yeah.
So it's a very small range. It's like listening to the same song over and over and over again.
Yep.
It's after a while, you just you almost become numb to it.
Agreed.
And so eating things that are outside of that normal range or have characteristics that we don't normally eat can activate dormant genetic processes.
Okay, give me more examples. I'm excited. We've gone into the Rogan territory of the conversation. I love this stuff.
One of my favorite ingredients that I like to use is dandelion greens.
Got it.
And it's thought of as a weed. It's a pest. It's a problem. It's something that gets on your lawn, and how dare that? And you spray it with chemicals and pull it up, and but sure enough, next week, next month, next year, it's right back at it and has no problem. And you find an old abandoned parking lot somewhere, and there's dandelions growing up out of some cracks. And
correct.
So it doesn't need cultivation. It resists pesticides. It doesn't need any specific watering structure. It just thrives. It doesn't care where it is. Like, I'm going to land here. I'm going to be a crack in the pavement, and I'm going to thrive, and I'm going to grow, and I'm going to keep growing, and I'm going to spread my seed, and good luck stopping me. And just that sort of attitude or vitality or sort of quality, it's like, I want to have that,
So what do you think we as a people, where do you think that break took place? Because if you go back far enough, right, people were growing the things on their property that grew, and then they were harvesting it. And if there was abundance, they would sell it to make money. But subsistence farming has been, if we draw a long enough timeline, a good way, if we go through from hunting and gathering to, at some point we were cultivating crops, right? 11,500 years ago or whatever the number is. Then we got to a point of I would say always industrial farming, right? And industrial farming has its pros and it has its cons, because a pro is we're going to feed per acre more people than we've ever fed in the history of the world, right? But there are drawbacks to that, of course, because when you get into industrialization, you're really profit driven more than anything else, and you're doing the things that will garner you the most amount of profit versus growing the best possible grain or product, if you will.
Right.
So at what point do you think, let's just focus on America in particular, because we have much different problems than, say, the rest of the world. Like we just were discussing, some of the things that we eat on a daily basis here, no other country would even allow in their doors. So at what point do you think we made that break from buying local, I guess is a good way to describe it, and buying avocados from the person, 4 doors down versus to buying avocados from South America that are picked, put on a boat, shipped up here, and then land on a grocery store shelf. And we say, oh, it looks just like an avocado. I'll buy that and eat that too. Where did that break? Where do you think that took place?
Well, I think World War I was the first step. I mean, any type of World War type of thing where the need to create a large quantity of food and have it be able to be shipped anywhere.
High caloric intake.
Was a major shift in the way that humanity at large thought about what food is and what we do with it. And for me, it's a big idea of going back to that kind of, I mean, it was post-industrial era, like it was, the late 1800s was that sort of industrial era. So there was definitely a trend shifting there, but there was a major percentage of the population was still in that more subsistence local type of living and hadn't been shifted into that new paradigm of the grocery store and large-scale agriculture and things like that are corporate owned and just, like you said, profit-driven or just quantity over quality, just yield.
There is such a mindset in America in particular where we eat to be full, right? Like the goal of anything, that's been marketed or sold to us or, put on the side of a building that's a burger place or wherever, where it's like the bigger is better, right? If you're going to eat this thing at $6 and you're going to be full at the end of it, like check box, you have achieved the goal. Where I see with your product and what a lot of, I would say, Valley restaurants or Santa Barbara County restaurants are making that jump and trying to source things that are grown within, say, 50 miles of wherever they are. And the response to that, just even for me personally, is I always feel better. Right. It's like if I eat something like you were bringing up blueberries or local strawberries or there is a reason that if you drink an Italian wine in Italy with Italian pasta, it just seems to harmonize very, very well. And your body responds to it in a very, very positive way. How did you make the jump with Feral Future to say, hey, I'm gonna put a stake in the ground. I'm gonna move forward and I want to share my information or what I'm passionate about with everybody else. How did you make that jump?
Well, I've been cooking for quite a while. I mean, I started cooking with my mom when I was about 5 years old, and we had a small garden, so I had an understanding of where food came from and the process of cooking and what it feels like to cook for people.
Sure.
There's a, we talk about kind of spiritual stuff. I think it's a very spiritual thing. You know, food is actually more intimate than sex, if you think about it, in terms of like.
Say more. Let's hear this one. I like this.
What you're eating is literally becoming you, right?
Agreed.
Nothing. You don't have a more intimate relationship with anything than food. And what you were talking about with that feeling full, I mean, that's like a dopamine addiction. That's not about nourishment. That's about, I want to get that hit of that full stomach.
Agreed.
Hormone response. And I'm going to keep chasing that. And so it's not about what I eat. It's about just getting that I'm full. Give me that dopamine response. And so, yeah, the idea with eating the local seasonal food, when you live in an area, especially here, of course, we have an abundance of beauty and just everything's as good as it gets. It's God's country.
The Santa Ynez Valley is God's apology for making us self-aware. You know what I mean? It's like we can grow great wine, we can grow great food. The abundance is real, right? Where you were just describing, if you live even 10 miles from where we're sitting, you can be in Santa Barbara. I could bring up Third Window Brewing. They do a great beer where they actually go around and harvest oranges from all of the backyards. Perfect. Right? And it goes into their beer, which is, I love, right? Yeah. Magnificent. But as soon as you get south of Santa Barbara, it gets pretty landlocked pretty quickly with suburbia, paved it up. They took what's the line? It's they put up a parking lot, right? They took Paradise and put up a parking lot. With food and when you were talking about that intimate experience, I am 100% on board with you because personally, and this is just an anecdote, I went through COVID, lost my dad, this and that. It was kind of screw it a little bit, and it was like just eating, and it was almost self-soothing to a certain extent. And at some point, I went, I've got to change this, and made a decision like, okay, I'm only going to eat local. I'm going to eat what we raise. I know that this is a big jump, but like literally 80 pounds fell off of me. And the response, my body's response was, give me more of that. You know, once you break through the, like a sugar addiction or the addiction, that dopamine addiction to being full, and you start thinking about food as fuel. Or what am I putting, you know, garbage in, garbage out, that little bit and piece that your parents would say to you that you're like, shut up, you know, but now you're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm 50 years old. Maybe there is something to this.
Well, it kind of goes back to the start of this conversation about you have to do both to appreciate the other side.
You have to.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing and what are you preparing? How do people find out more about like Feral Future and what's your goals?
Yeah, I would love to just kind of finish up.
Oh, sorry, I apologize.
On the eating local. Just the thing that I feel is so important is when you're living in a place, you're exposed to the heat, the dust, the pollen, whatever it is. Like you are exposed to the same thing that the thing that you're eating experience. So it's built up its own defenses and support to live in the area that it is. So when you live in the same place that your food is grown, it's actually supporting you on a much deeper level because it's supporting you in the place at the same time. So
anecdotally, if I suffer from allergies and everybody go like, I first moved to the valley and somebody's like, just go buy some local honey. Exactly. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, eat the local honey. You'll defeat this stuff.
It's made from the pollen that's triggering you. And sure
enough. And I've been Claritin free for a few years, Oh.
Yeah. So our website is feralfuture.com.
Yeah.
And Feral Future is a much larger concept. There's a lot that we want to do with it. There's a financial component. There's like a freedom component.
Sure.
We talk about clothes and fabrics and furnishings, and there's so much to it.
Tell me everything.
So it's not just you are what you eat; it's you are what you consume. And they say that your frequency is what you frequently see. So what you're around and what you're seeing all the time has a direct impact on how you live your life, how you feel, how you look. And that's just a big part of it. I mean, if you lived in like Prague, is supposed to be the most beautiful city in the world. And you think of all the things that's come out of that region, of the music and the art, that was directly triggered by the beauty of the place that they lived. And then you look at places that don't have that and how everything is hard and it's challenging. It's just a different energy. And I think that's one of the things that just being here in the valley, it's so beautiful. You can't help but kind of be in a good mood, and everything kind of up levels just a little bit. So
couldn't agree with you more.
But yeah, so Feral Foods is our starting component because it's you are what you eat. And so we offer our products online through our website. And we also have a few locations here in the valley that allow for pickup and in store. So we're at SYV Pantry, we're at Stika, we're at Joy Cafe in Solvang. Our marshmallows are at Zaka Coffee and Good Seed. We're at Los Olivos General Store. We're up in San Luis Obispo at Slow Ranch Market. So we have a couple different lines. We have our prepared foods, and these are in mason jars.
Yep. And
these are basically meals ready to eat, and the concept is farm to table to go. So I'm here at the Solvang Farmers Market on Wednesday, and I'm in the commercial kitchen at Los Olivos at St. Mark's Church on Thursday morning.
The incubator.
Yes.
And
I'm preparing these prepared foods. They're direct sale. And so we have our core recipes are elk chili, wild boar pasta, turkey wild rice soup, and our venison mexi meat, which is like a taco burrito base situation.
So tell me, let's bring up this elk chili I'm holding. So what makes this chili so special?
Well, first of all, I made it.
Hey, fair enough.
So there's that. But so we were talking about you are what you eat and the vitality of the animals and stuff. So instead of the traditional beef, pork, and chicken, I like to use the less domesticated animals. If you want to be a more feral being, you got to eat a more feral diet, and that includes animals that are less domesticated. I love beef. We eat a lot of steak, but I also like to incorporate those other more wild animals as well to sort of take on their characteristics and their genetic input that I may not be getting, that my lineage may not have had for generations. And activating dormant genes and processes inside myself and connecting myself more with the wild.
So you bring up a very interesting point, right? If when we're talking about food chain and things like that, we live in a country of so many diverse backgrounds, so many diverse histories. It's one of it's one of the greatest things about living in Southern California is if you want to have the world's best Mexican food, hey, it's a couple blocks away. If you want to have food from Honduras, you can absolutely find it. We are in a embarrassment of riches with all of this biodiversity. So if you could speak a little bit to the individual person who, everybody here like you were saying, your background, right? You have some Scandinavian in there, you have this in there. Do you, in your experience, do you find that different things benefit different groups in different ways? Or do you think we're much more homogenized, but we're tapping into something special? So the reason I bring that up, if you're a Scandinavian person and you eat a diet that is, let's say, Scandinavian, will you respond to it better than, say, if you eat a different culture's food?
I think there's absolute truth to that. I mean, so many cultures are lactose intolerant, and that's not an accident. That has to do with the culture that they've developed that is supportive to where they live. And so, I think if somebody is from a region, they should, if they haven't explored their sort of indigenous or traditional diet, I think it behooves them to do that. You should certainly try that out and see how that feels for you. But it also seems that there's some real baseline, everybody can eat it foods. And if you're going to eat those, then find the best ones and see how you feel.
So if somebody's on this journey of trying to figure out what's right for them, where would you start them?
I would start by going back to basics, eliminating processed foods, going back to the whole foods, going back to the things that, up until 100 years ago didn't exist. Well, then probably stop eating that or eat a lot less. I mean, it's to me, it's that simple. And then so start that way. So instead of margarine, do butter or olive oil or coconut oil. I mean, just something like that can be a major shift for a lot of people. You just brought up a very great one, because while you were talking, I was thinking about, like, I'm a big fan of one ingredient foods, right? An apple is an apple, a this is a this, right? And when you're eating that one ingredient food, there's a massive benefit, right? Because nothing else is, you're not looking and flipping over a label and trying to decipher what is actually in there, because you have to almost be a chemist now to understand that. When you brought up butter versus margarine, to a certain extent, we as a society, if you will, go back to World War I, World War II, the food pyramid, which, could be probably one of the, this is tinfoil hat territory a little bit, but I think it's bring it on. I know, exactly right. That's what we do here. The most interesting piece of that is when, there was a whole trend years ago where it was like low fat, low fat, low fat. And then now, as we've kind of evolved as people and the internet has done its job, the internet remains undefeated. And they're saying, no. Eat butter. You don't go to the 7 deadly oils, right? And get the processed stuff. Just eat, go back to basics. You'll feel a lot better. But as I've always kind of thought, that there's a meter, right? If you're creating something for a profit, or you're in the center aisles of a grocery store, everything in their Mylar bag, it's meant to be shelf stable for as long as possible. Well, it's dead.
It's dead.
You are what you eat.
You said it perfectly. Like, for people who are just kind of listening and going, maybe I need to change my diet, right? Where would you start? Where would you coach someone to take control of what they're putting in their body and trying to create a one-to-one system of, like, hey, you know what? I drive past a farm stand every day on the way home. Maybe I should stop there. I mean, that's a great, easy place to start. And even the online, things like, I can't think of the name all of a sudden, but, like, you can get produce delivered to your house from local farms. I mean, those services are countrywide, nationwide. Yep. But yeah, I think one of the most damaging things are the processed sugars, and the oils. I think those two aspects, if those can be converted to a healthier option, massive improvements across the board without any kind of, like, I need to see my doctor on this one. It's like, just instead of using canola oil or soybean oil or vegetable, use olive oil. You brought up canola oil. Yeah. So let's talk about that just for a second, because I think not a lot of people have any idea, number one, what canola oil is. Right. So it's rapeseed oil. Yeah. Great name, right? Yeah. Great name. But canola is Canadian oil, right? And you know what it was originally created for, right? Industrial lubricant. It was in the war. They used it for engines. Exactly right. And after the war, they went, what are we going to do with this stuff? We created all this infrastructure and all these farms. What do we do with this oil? Okay. Keep going. I mean, so right there, one thing that has been happening, it's for 80 years. Let's just put it out there, right? For 80 years, we have, as a country, been consuming an industrial lubricant, masquerading as a food source versus taking some butter and cutting off a hog of it and throwing it in your pan and cooking with that.
Well, and just the amount of what goes into making it, like olive oil. Take olives, press them.
Yes.
Butter, draw milk from the cow and churn it.
Yes.
It's like, that's it. The seed oils, it's like compressed, then you've got to put it through these filters and then refinement, and it's like this 30-stage industrial process. And then you put it in a plastic jug, and it's like rancid before. Like just the concept of all the things that need to go into it, and then thinking that somehow agriculture is damaging to the environment or something. It's like, I'm sorry.
Well, see,
but anyway.
No. I think we're in this is a great position,
And
actually.
I have a great comment on the seed oils too, on what it's done beyond just
Please.
They're generally inflammatory.
Yes.
And here's the problem too. There's studies. You can reference all kinds of studies. And I don't want to necessarily get into that because we know that the studies are flawed. We know that, they're biased, and, I don't know. You do your own research.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm not claiming.
Okay.
I'm not claiming.
Allegedly, you said allegedly.
Yeah,
okay.
But from my
keep going.
So here's something that I've come to understand and practice myself. I believe.
Thank you. Great
job. Skin cancer is a major. Canola oil has been and seed oils in general have been a major cause of skin cancer. Okay. And the reason for that
Bring your receipts.
Right. Well, the reason for that is that in your skin, the fats in your skin, essentially the cell walls, the lipids in your cell walls become, again, you are what you eat. So if you've been eating seed oils for over 7 years, because that's about how long it takes for the half-life of the cell walls to recreate themselves. If you've been eating those oils, your lipids in your skin are all made up of those oils, those usually omega-6 monounsaturated oils. And in the sun, they oxidize. And so what's happening is when you get sun on your skin that's been saturated with these oils, they oxidize. And it's not so much that you're getting a sunburn, it's the oxidation of those oils are causing inflammation.
Interesting.
And that inflammation over time is what creates the cancers. Where if you're eating saturated fats or things like olive oil, butter, coconut, and olive oil, they don't have that effect. In fact, they create the vitamin D and the melanin. They actually create positive compounds that reduce inflammation. So I personally don't wear sunscreen anymore because I've been eating almost exclusively these natural, saturated fats for over a decade now. So I've essentially eliminated the vast majority of all of these oils in my diet. And I'll still get red in the sun. Sure. But it almost immediately turns into a tan. Yeah. And I'm not saying anybody should go out and just, this is something I call it skin fitness. It's like it's something just like you wouldn't go out and run a 5K, from sitting on your, couch for 6 months. Like you're going to be wrecked if you do that. You got to start slow and build up to it. And so I'm totally saying be conscious of that and don't just start eating butter and think you can lay out in the sun for 4 hours. Like you're still going to have a hard time. But with that in mind, it's just a different sort of situation. It's completely changing the chemistry in your body. But if I was eating seed oils, I would definitely wear sunscreen because I know about the issue with oxidation of these oils in the skin due to sunlight.
So, are we really making a conversation about eating clean and going back to basics, right? And it's like, okay, eating as close as you possibly can to home, with people who are preparing food for you, like this chili I'm looking at right now, and you also brought in some.
Local corn chowder. That's all tutti frutti corn.
Oh, it's really? Yeah. They're great. Yeah. I love them. So when you're talking about like all of these different products that you're making, right? You're talking about it from a perspective of, hey, we're making food that every person in this world needs to eat at least once a day, right? And now we're making a choice of what are we going to put in our body, right? You can either win a diet by deciding to eat something or lose a diet by deciding to eat it as well. Right. And so much now, there's so many options, and I commend you. And that's why I'm very excited to have you on the show today, just because there are options, right? There are delicious options. Absolutely. There are options that you are giving your body the thing that it actually wants versus something that it doesn't actually need. You can eat it, feel delicious, eat something and have that little pop of happiness when you eat something good, but also guilt-free, where you're like, oh man, this is good.
Yeah, and you could even have seconds and it's like, go for it. Like this is actually going to nourish your body and fuel you up. And I'm not just saying that with my food. I mean, I guarantee you that there's a local meal prep service. There's a local chef that would do home service. I guarantee you these are available. Right now, we're only doing our prepared foods here in the Santa Ynez Valley.
Yeah.
We just haven't worked out the shipping concept of it just yet. But I'm not saying it has to be our food, because there are tons and tons of options out there. And
hey, listen, man. If you're going to make this decision, might as well support you.
Hey, absolutely.
There you go.
Look us up. Absolutely. Feralfuture.com.
That's perfect. I think what you guys are doing is actually, I think, one of the more beautiful parts of, let's say, the Santa Ynez Valley in general, right? Where you've moved here, you love the area, and now you're trying to nourish your community, right? With healthy options, where someone who goes, hey, I could buy some Hormel chili, which is packed full of all kinds of stuff, and you can eat it in, wait 25 years at the apocalypse or whenever that takes place next week. Or you're eating something like this elk chili or the corn chowder, where it's like, you're eating it, it's delicious, it feels good, your body is responding to it. Because, anecdotally, one of the things that I came to realize, and it scared me to death, was the truth in advertising of, like, I bet you can't eat just one, right? Where so many things we're eating today, you eat it and it bypasses or co-ops your what's the right term? Satiation, right? Where you go, I'm full, but I still want to eat this stuff, right? Versus when you make that change into eating healthy and eating good foods, you usually eat your portion and your body's like, yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good, right? And the fact that you are a local option for anyone here, and please, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to just absolutely plug as hard as you possibly can. Okay. Everywhere that people can buy this, because if you make a decision once a week to eat healthy, once a week leads to 2 days a week, leads to 3 days a week. And in a community where there are a lot more older people in our valley than there are younger, right? And we are in an aging population to a certain extent. I see that kids coming up are very choosy about what they put in their body. I mean, they're still going, like my son's 17 years old and will still go to McDonald's and get an ice cream 100%. But he is also someone going, can we have like a local salad? Can we have a local salad? Can we eat local beef? Can we? And that's at the forefront of his mind versus the generations that are, say, the Gen X or even the boomers that are a little bit, older than us. It was more or less, hey, it's on the shelf. Somebody would look out for me. They're not going to put anything horrible in there.
Nobody's out trying to get one over on me.
Yeah, right.
I would try to get one over on someone else. So why would they do that to me?
Exactly right. And not that we are empathetic. We're just thinking, well, there's got to be a rule to take care of me in between, this and that. But the truth of the matter is there is no rule, right? And a big company will always win against a little person. And I'm a big fan of you guys because, like, what you're doing is you're nourishing people. You're looking at longevity. You're looking at overall health. You're looking at a total body system.
Well, what we're really doing is just going back to what has always worked. Yeah. It's not like it's revolutionary in the most insane way, because to going back to what we've always done before things went crazy is now revolutionary.
It's true. So take 5 minutes here and plug everywhere. Plug what you're proud of. Tell me about like some of the products that you really like, where they're available, and because people who are listening to this, the challenge is once a week, right? Let's make a really great decision. Make it for yourself. Make it for your family. Everybody that lives here is part of a community, and what we want is our community to thrive and let the wisdom of age, trickle down to the younger kids. So we want to keep people around longer. So here's 5 minutes. Go run with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing about community is I've felt more community here than I've ever felt anywhere else. Yeah. And the support of people being like, wow, this is great. You got to talk to so-and-so, or you got to be with these people. Yeah. And even meeting you, for example, the amount of support that I've felt here has been really amazing. So it's actually the reason that we decided to even start doing this.
You definitely deserve a platform, sir.
We started doing this once we got here. It wasn't till we were here for almost 8 months before we thought, like, this is something we should be doing. Yeah. So anyway, with that in mind, our prepared foods currently have kiosks. They're essentially the wine fridges. And we do an honor system, just like the just like a lot of the farm stands around.
Yeah.
So you have a QR code on the door, and you scan it,
Awesome.
and it goes to our website, and you just let us know what you're buying, and you can pay with your credit card.
And where can they find that?
So we have 2 kiosks up right now. One is at Joy Cafe in Solvang,
Yep.
and one is at the Yard Orchard in Los Olivos.
Okay.
It's on Alamo Pintado, just past Ballard.
Yep.
And we also have our pantry ingredients. So the kiosks have our prepared foods, which is the elk chili, wild boar pasta, turkey wild rice soup, and venison mexi meat. I also have just released, I'm calling it my SY slaw. It's a carrot, jicama, radish, lime, cilantro, red
Delicious.
wine vinegar slaw. Just not even any salt or pepper, no fat. It's just
Awesome.
I was created it as a topping for tacos, but it became a salad on its own.
I love it.
And then right now we're doing the corn chowder as well. It's seasonal, so once the corn goes, we may or may not be offering it in the future. And that's a vegetarian, it's technically a vegan corn chowder. It's thickened with potato as opposed to cream. So it's a very light corn chowder, but still has that great thickness. We also have a complete pantry line. So I have, I call it my feral herb blend. It's sort of my signature blend. It's essentially an Italian seasoning with oregano and thyme and basil and a little rosemary and marjoram.
Love it.
And I use that kind of as a catch-all herb blend that goes on everything. I also have a salt product. I call it my full spectrum salt. It's got a kosher salt. It's got Himalayan pink salt and Baja sea salt. And the idea that there's 3 different textures, 3 different flavors, 3 different mineral profiles. It's really got a great pinch. So if you like to do the old pinching on the food,
I'm a big fan of the pinch.
yeah, so it's a really great tactile feel when you work with it. We also do what we call our feral tea. So this is a tea blend that I came up with actually during COVID as a way to not drink soda. And I was drinking green tea, but I didn't want as much caffeine. So I came up with an herbal tea that has moringa, which is the most nutritious plant that grows on land.
Really?
Yeah. It's got dandelion. It's got stinging nettle, which is great for allergies. It's got lemon balm and ginger. So it's a very refreshing, nourishing. It's got all like the vitamins and minerals and electrolytes. So it's almost like a sports drink in a way. And we actually have a brewing system for that. We call it our feral flask. And it's basically a 64-ounce mason jar with like a pour spout with a screen in it. So you can do a really large cold brew with a whole fresh lemon in there. Pop it in the fridge, and you can drink on that all day.
Delicious.
Get all your vitamins and nutrients and really get refreshed with that. And then we have our grass-fed marshmallows, and that's been a really big seller for us. We actually have a friend who was in a motorcycle accident, and the doctor recommended marshmallows in her coffee as a recovery mechanism. And the marshmallows are made with collagen from grass-fed beef. And when you have the marshmallow with the collagen with caffeine, it actually kind of shuttles it out throughout the body a little bit more effectively.
Yeah.
And collagen is really great for like skin, hair, nails, and gut health. So if you have any kind of autoimmune issues with your gut or any kind of like arthritis type things.
You're saying eat a marshmallow for your gut?
I'm saying.
Jeez.
Absolutely.
Doctor's
I'm gonna go
orders.
on record, yeah.
Well done.
And they're sweetened with just a little bit of maple syrup. So they're not that like really sickeningly sweet marshmallow that you've had in the grocery store. And they need to go in the fridge as well. If you leave them out too long, they actually get moldy because they don't have any preservatives. So it's a little bit of a annoyance to have to put them in the fridge, but you're getting so much more out of it because of it. And yeah, so that's been our coffee ritual now, is to put a couple marshmallows in our coffee in the morning, and it can be a replacement for cream and sugar. And it adds a great kind of latte foam on top when they melt in.
I've had them at Good Seed, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you can go to Good Seed and they can put them right in coffee for you.
Perfect.
Zoc has them as well.
Yep.
So all of those are available at our website, feralfuture.com.
Perfect.
We also, like I said, we have our stores around town. We have a store locator as well on our website. You can find your places, but it's Los Olivos General, it's the Yard Orchard, it's SYV Pantry, it's Stika, it's Joy Cafe in Solvang, it's Good Seed, Slow Ranch Market in San Luis Obispo. We also deliver our food, so if anybody's interested in having us deliver our food, we can actually deliver in cases. We offer discount prices if you order a case. And we have some other services as well. My partner, Carrie, she has a women's course. It's all about connecting with your cycle and kind of realigning your cycle with the moon. It's the new moon as we're recording this. So, that's the time when women are theoretically supposed to be, starting up their cycle. So she has a 28-day course that she has developed to help connect with your body, and also a tea that goes along to support the women's cycle. I also do knife sharpening. I do mobile knife sharpening, and from a chef's perspective. So the idea of
that.
I actually call it knife detailing. So I can come out. I have a truck. I can literally go anywhere.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to set up, we need to talk, because there's got to be a day we just set up in front of the tasting room in Los Olivos and let the valley know, bring in their knives, because there is nothing more dangerous than a dull knife.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to push harder, so theoretically it's more likely to slip.
Right.
And I think most people have never even experienced a sharp knife. Even out of the box, most knives aren't that sharp. And the experience of having a truly sharpened knife, not just sharp, but like optimized for what you're doing. Because even like a lot of the farmers market, they just kind of have a routine that they do, assuming it's good enough for everybody. I actually like to work with, as a chef myself, I've worked with other chefs to really like fine tune it to meet the specific needs that they're doing. Like they might need something more.
You definitely need the right tool for the right
losing,
job.
or just super surgical sharp for sushi or something like that. And we can do it all. So.
Well, number one, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to come and talk about Feral Future and yourself. I think a lot of people, when they hear about local foods or local this, it goes into a part of their brain where they're like, but at one point, people were shopping at a grocery store, and then there were other stores that were health food stores, right? And we are seeing the next evolution, and I think we're right in the front of it, where you are what you eat. What you are putting in your system is what, put good gas in, and the engine runs right. And I think I'm so glad that we have someone like you in the Valley that is like taking a stand, working hard at it, making their product available. And I want every single person to listen to this. You rattled it off well, but it's like, go to feralfuture.com. Is that correct?
Yep.
Perfect. Go to feralfuture.com, see everything that you guys have to offer, and, make a decision for longevity. And I think the more that you take care of yourself, the longer you can take care of other people in your community around you. So
you got to put on your oxygen mask before.
Take care of yourself before you take care of everybody else. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. This has been a magnificent conversation. I could have talked to you for another 4 hours.
Let's do it.
We'll have you back in 100% because I want to know about the seasonal products you guys are coming out with, because I am personally very excited about taking these home and eating them tonight, because to have a healthy food option, right? To have a option that is nourishing, that you can believe in the people. You can look like right now, I'm looking in your eyes, and I like, you are out for good.
Right.
And finding someone who is out for good is someone who we as a community not only should support, but we should put the post in the sand and say, hey, I want to eat local, I want to eat healthy, and I want to do what's right for not only my environment, myself, and my community and my family. And I think that really does start with the diet and the choices that you're making to put in your body. So feralfuture.com. I really appreciate you coming in. Thanks for spending the time. And this has been Keith Saarloos, and you have been listening to Chopping It Up on 105.9 Crazy Country. Enjoy your afternoon.